What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Today's another Ticked Off Tuesday video, and basically what we do in these Ticked Off Tuesdays is I just kind of go through and I find things that just tick me off, and we just have a little talk about that and things like that. So basically, I've been kind of scrolling through Facebook a lot lately, and which I don't normally do, and it just kind of, for reasons like this is why. And I did a video on it just a little bit ago, and this one kind of relates to that, but it was where people call, or uneducated people call educated people uneducated. You know, you can look it up, or I'll put a link or whatever down below if you want, but this one kind of goes off that same path. And, you know, I go to YouTube, and like I said, I don't know why I even go to YouTube. I hardly ever, or not YouTube, the best words, not YouTube. I go to Facebook. I'm scrolling through Facebook, and like I said, I don't even know why, because my feed is just nothing but political garbage, mostly left-wing garbage, which I don't know why. I think it's because I got on a discussion, and so now it thinks that's what I'm into. But I try to have conversations with these guys and on the left, just to kind of have a meaningful conversation, hear their side of the story. And because I'm a little different. I'm not full right. I mean, I lean a little bit more to the conservative side, but they both suck. I mean, regardless, I don't care what way you lean, both left and the right, they're just different wings on the same bird. And, it is what it is. But basically, I got onto a post, and I was trying to talk to some people, and this one was about just a few days ago, that Trump had Zelensky into the Oval Office. I'm sure you heard the story. It's all over the news. It's nothing new. And they got a little heated, and Trump kicked him out of the White House, and the deal wasn't done. They were trying to make a peace deal to end the war over there, and Trump just wanted them to pay us back with from the money that Biden just handed him over. Because see, there's the people from Europe, there's countries from Europe that were giving them money, but they were giving them money as a loan, as you're going to pay us back for this. But Biden was just handing over the money. And you can believe what you want, whether, the money was just trickling through and back into the Democrats' bank accounts, and you can believe that if you want. You can not believe that or not. I'm not getting into that woods yet. I have my beliefs, but you can have your own on that. But anyway, we just gave them the money, and all of our taxpayer dollars have been going over there, or a lot of them have. And Trump just said, hey, to pay us back for that, we want some of your rare minerals that you have over there. We want to control your mining, some mining over there. But Zelensky thought we were just going to give him more money. Just here, have some more money, have more money. And Trump didn't want anything to do with that. And so he just said, no, this is for the money we've already sent you. But he wanted more security and more, more backing, and more like, I want security. I want basically us to build a base over there and send some troops over there and to protect them. And just the nature of the war, and with Russia, and Russia doesn't want us in the war. Russia doesn't want to go to war with us. He's not, because that would basically do it. But if we send civilians over there to do mining, followed by and a few troops to kind of protect our people that are over there, he's led to believe that Putin won't do anything because he doesn't want to go to war with the United States. We don't want to go to war with Russia. Russia doesn't want to go to the war with the United States for reasons. And he's whether he's evil or what you think of him, Putin's not a dumb person. He's smart. He knows that he doesn't want to go to war with the United States. And the United States doesn't want to go to war with him either. So the fact is, if we have civilians over there, he's not going to attack our civilians, or that's basically an instant war. That's an instant declaration of war. So just having people over there mining, controlling some of their mines, they're not going to, that will basically end the war. And Trump just wanted to be paid back for all of the tax money that Joe Biden sent over there, but Zelensky didn't want anything to do with it. So it got a little heated, and Zelensky got kicked out of the White House with, no deal made, and now they're on their own to fight this war. But anyway, and there were people that were like, I stand with Ukraine, I this, I that, and when you go on and look at it, and they're trying to talk about some stuff, and I think there was another one but you look at a lot of these posts, when you're going through the comments, and you want to have a conversation, so you find some comments, and you just click on one, and they come on, and it's like, I think it was one. It was about this debt ceiling or something. It was one of the Doge things, and I was like, well, it's more like a business that, somebody was, I forget what it was, but they were talking like it's kind of like a business is going bankrupt, or they replaced a qualified manager and brought in some unqualified people to change things around or something. And I just made an analogy. No, it's kind of more like they're going bankrupt because our country's broke, and it's been broke for decades. We've been broke, so on the whole, our country is broke. I mean, we're not necessarily poor, but we're broke. But we get taxed on when we make money. We get taxed on that same money when we spend money. We get taxed on owning property. And I just kind of went into that, and somebody came in and, well, if Trump's so good, why did he just raise the debt ceiling again and another $4 trillion? They don't come in with very much facts. They just come in with dumb questions like that, trying to stump me. And I answered the question, gave them some facts or whatever, and then they come back, well, I'm not even American, good thing, because, I'd be embarrassed if I was American. So it's like, hold on a second here. You're not American, but you're trying to tell us Americans how to be American, and it's like they try to tell us how to live and how to vote for our president and how to handle ourselves as a country. And I just kind of went on as like, well, that explains why you don't know very much about the U.S. government, because you're not American. And then she's like, well, you're just listening to Fox and Trump and the basic default answers. You just listen to every word that comes out of Trump's mouth, and you just do what Fox says, and typical. But that's what ticks me off, is it's like people that shouldn't even care. Why should you care about what goes on in our country? You're not American. You live in a different country. Why should you care? I think you should be worried more about your own country. And that's what Trump is doing. We've been giving away all this tax money to these other countries, but yet we're broke. Our debt is so high, and I'm not, we know where most of it came from, but every president raises the debt ceiling. Every single one. I don't care what president you are, you raise the debt ceiling. So they can't get mad at Trump for that, when Biden did it almost every quarter just to keep the government from shutting down. It's like one of those, why are you getting mad at Trump for raising the debt ceiling? Probably every president in history has raised the debt ceiling from time to time. $4 trillion sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. But I think a lot of that will be covered once they figure out all this extra money that's been wasted, and not having to spend all this money over on Ukraine now is that'll free up a ton. Just that. It's like, why? It's like, I don't know why this person should even care. That's the problem. It's like, for one, why should you care? And I think it's why you care is because the news. And that's what this person said. I was like, well, it was a she. I'm thinking it was a she. This person had a female's name and looked like a female, so I'm assuming it's a she. The way the world is now, I gotta be, I can't misgender somebody. But I believe it was a she because, a she name and a she face, she hair, she looked like a she. So I'll call her a she. If that offends anybody, apologize, maybe. But I was like, yeah, that explains why you don't have a lot of knowledge about U.S. She's like, I watch the news. And I replied like, well, yeah, well, I live it every single day. I'm here. I'm in the country. I'm actually living in the country. I'm living in it. I can see it with my own eyes. You just watch the news. And I don't care what mainstream media you watch. I don't care if you watch CNN. I don't care if you watch The View. I don't care if you watch MSNBC. I don't care if you watch Fox. It's all bias. It's all partisan news. It's all one-sided. They don't look at both sides. They just look at their point of view. It doesn't matter what side you watch. It's all biased. And I like to do a lot of reading, and I like to do a lot of viewing, and I research both sides. That's why I get onto some of these sites to have conversations. But the other side usually has nothing. They resort to, all you do is watch Fox and, lay off the Fox, and all you do is just believe in what your cult leader tells you, and that's their default, is calling people uneducated, or calling people stupid, or calling people unintelligent, or calling us a cult. That's all they got. They don't have any information or any facts or anything to back up why they think that. And then these people that don't even live in our country, probably the reason why they care is because they're not getting any of the free American handouts anymore, because they're cutting that funding off. And now what? Now these countries are going to have to fend for themselves, and they don't like it. They're mad now because what are we supposed to do? America's not bailing us out anymore. America's not sending us all this money anymore. We're gonna have to start working ourselves. I mean, it is what it is, but if it's just like my last one. If you're not educated yourself, if all you have is a high school diploma, if that, you got no business calling somebody uneducated. It doesn't matter. You may think you have a good argument. That's just the MAGA side is so uneducated. Uneducated. That's 3 college degrees right there. Who's uneducated? So it's like, but I'm not sitting there calling other people uneducated until they start calling me uneducated. Then I kind of get, oh yeah, who's uneducated again? It's not that. And it's, like I said, again, these non-Americans that are trying to tell an American how to be American, that I'm wrong because they watch the news. They watch the news about our country. That's a lot better than living in it every single day, dealing with it every single day. Apparently these guys they're so brainwashed that they believe the news. But anyway, that's the video. Ticked off Tuesday. I don't know what else to say other than just, try to have an open mind on both sides. That's what recommendation I have is try to get a view on both sides. There's 2 sides to every story. Okay. And both sides of the story has some truth to it. And both sides of the story have some lies to it or or whatever, misinformation or whatever you want to call it. So don't listen to what the other side, don't live by what the other side is saying, but listen to their story. Listen to their arguments. Listen to their arguments, listen to the left, listen to the right. Decipher for yourself what you believe. Don't just do what this side says. Well, this side, well, CNN says this, so it must be true. Well, Fox says this, so it must be true. No, you pick out the parts of Fox that are true or that you do believe, because not all of Fox is perfect, and definitely not all of CNN is perfect either. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. Perfection is something you can't achieve in this lifetime. That's a little religious thing, and it's, maybe a different topic for a different video for a different time, but you got to keep an open mind and accept people for who they are, like they've been, like the left has been wanting diversity and they've been wanting unity and they've been wanting, all this, but in order to have that, you've got to accept the other side for who they are and accept the fact that they have a different opinion than you. And you don't need to be name calling. You don't need to be just assuming that somebody's uneducated because they don't believe the same way you believe. But if you get both sides of the story, you can actually have a legit conversation. You can say, yeah, I see your point. And I believe that. And I believe, because there's certain things about the left that I don't necessarily disagree with. I agree more with the right, but not everything with the right I agree with either. And that's just the thing. I lean a little bit more to the right than I do to the left. I guess it's right, left, but but that doesn't mean I believe every single thing that the right has to say. It's not, I don't believe every single thing that comes out of Fox's mouth. I don't believe it, because I saw what happened. I watched the thing in the White House with Trump and Zelensky. I saw it with my eyes. I saw what happened, and I picked up what I felt about that from what I saw far before I even watched Fox or watched CNN or watched any of these. I deciphered for myself what I thought about that. I watched the White House press briefings, and before I even get other opinions of it, I look at it myself and, okay, this is what I think. Now let's hear now let's hear kind of the rumble that's going on about it, and then I'll decide, maybe I'll change my views on things. Maybe I jump to a conclusion or something. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. There'll be some links below if you feel like it. Donations and subscribes and whatnot if you feel like it. If not, hey, cool. Just appreciate you being here. Appreciate you watching. If you made it this far, I don't see why you wouldn't want to subscribe. But anyway, do the YouTube stuff if you feel like it. Appreciate y'all. Love you. And we'll see you in the next one.